Today I've built an alternate all-time team for all 30 NBA franchises. The all-time LA Lakers will no longer feature Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. No, instead they've been replaced by Steve Nash and Dennis Rodman. The Celtics don't have Bill Russell or Larry Bird. May I interest you in Shaquille O'Neal and Dominique Wilkins instead?
I don't know about that.
I've taken every washed up and or weird legend to play for each franchise, put them in their prime, and created a super fun set of all-time teams. I started with the super washed up, very obvious players that you're thinking. Hakeem on the Raptors, Patrick Ewing on the Magic, Allen Iverson on the Pistons, and so on. That made up a nice bulk of each roster, and it's where my ideas started, but then I wanted to expand. So I looked at guys who maybe weren't completely washed, but seeing MJ and Dwight Howard on the Wizards or Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony on the Thunder, I mean, we can all agree that was and still is super weird, right? I then went on to sprinkle in some guys who were in their prime, but still just so out of place. Jimmy Butler on the Timberwolves, Charles Barkley on the Rockets, James Harden on the Sixers. In the end, my goal with these rosters was to make you, the viewer, stop at least once this video and say, wait, what? When you see a certain player on a certain team, and honestly, I think I succeeded. Oh, and I also added some current day legends who, well, let's just say they're each in contention to replace the Celtics Shaq meme.
Well, let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice.
Okay, and because I receive so many comments every time I make one of these videos, I am going to show you all 30 teams that I built. I'm going to do it so quickly. If you want to pause and take a deeper look, feel free, but quick rapid fire, here we go. Our brand new alternate Philadelphia 76ers led by Dwight Howard, James Harden, Bob McAdoo, who always simulates so well, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, all up over 90 overall. And I'm already going to stop right here just to mention I did not limit players to one team only, so guys like Dwight Howard, James Harden, who have bounced around a lot, you're going to see their names a lot. The Milwaukee Bucks featuring Moses Malone, another name we're going to see. Dave Cowan's always so weird to see he played there. Gary Payton, yeah, one of the highlights of this video. The Chicago Bulls, no Michael Jordan here, but another legendary two-guard, Dwayne Wade, George Gervin, Robert Parrish, I always forget that. Nate Thurman, Pau Gasol making his second appearance. Ben Wallace, DPOY legend. Ben Wallace also makes his way onto the all-time Cavs with Shaquille O'Neal, one of his many stops. Another Dwayne Wade, Walt Frazier, Derrick Rose. First time we're seeing him. Shaq is back once again. The all-time Celtics. Dominique Wilkins. Yep. Bob McAdoo, another appearance. Here's Gary Payton again. Pistol Pete Maravich. Why are the Celtics still good in this timeline? The Clippers also featuring Dominique Wilkins, who bounced around so much to end his career. Paul Pierce, Chauncey Billups, Grant Hill. That's kind of a fun team. The Memphis Grizzlies are never in contention with their all-time team, but now they've got Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Derrick Rose, Gilbert Arenas. Probably not enough big men, but they could be feisty. The Atlanta Hawks, another version of Vince Carter. Get used to that. There's Tracy McGrady. The Cousins reunited. Dwight Howard, Sidney Moncrief. Yo, this team is for real. The all-time Miami Heat looking pretty weak. Gary Payton, Ray Allen, Penny Hardaway, Amari, Shaman. Yeah, they don't look so great. The Charlotte Hornets, another team that never simulates well in these videos. Dwight Howard played there. I barely remember that. Tony Parker, Robert Parrish. I mean, that's a solid big three. The all-time Jazz look super weak on paper. Just 190 overall Walt Bellamy. We've got ISO Joe Johnson, Spencer Haywood. I had to search far and wide to make this team. The all-time Sacramento Kings, legendary franchise who has won nothing ever. Vince Carter, Bob Cousy, JoJo White, a couple real OGs, Clyde Lovelet, Rajon Rondo, sure. Okay, now we're about to enter a run of some legitimately great teams, and it kind of makes sense. The New York Knicks, a very historic franchise. Tracy McGrady, Jason Kidd, Chauncey Billups, Baron Davis. Maybe too many guards here. R.I.P. Dikembe Mutombo, Kemba Walker. Oh, the LA Lakers, like the Celtics, always going to be good. Karl Malone, Steve Nash, like the jersey on my wall. Carmelo Anthony, Gary Payton, Mitch Richmond. These dudes look so out of place. The Orlando Magic look all right too. Another Dominique stop. Patrick Ewing, as mentioned in the intro. Mark Price, Gilbert Arenas, Ben Wallace again. The all-time Mavs, yeah, okay, blah. They're led by Dennis Rodman. I don't even know what to say about that, other than I don't have high expectations. What's up, Clay? Yo, the Brooklyn Nets, dude. Kevin Garnett, James Harden, and Bob McAdoo. That might low-key be the best big three. The all-time Nuggets look terrible. Russell Westbrook, yes, I'm putting Russ on there. He has not started his Nuggets career well. DeMarcus Cousins, Bobby Jones, Tim Hardaway. The all-time Pacers also look super weak. Chris Mullin, Adrian Dantley, another Tim Hardaway. Not not great. The all-time Pelicans, yeah, DeMarcus Cousins, Rondo, Isaiah Thomas. There just wasn't much here. Back to the powerhouse teams, the Detroit Pistons with Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Derrick Rose, yeah, Bob McAdoo. Oh, it's over. The Pistons are gonna win it all. The Raptors, obviously inspired by Hakeem this entire video. Chauncey Billups, Jermaine O'Neal, Sean Marion. That's a pretty good defensive squad at least. The all-time Houston Rockets, also great. Scottie Pippen, Rick Barry, Chuck Barkley, Carmelo. That's a really good 4. 95 plus overalls. That's impressive. The San Antonio Spurs, speaking of top-end talent, CP3, Moses Malone, Tracy McGrady. I think this is his last appearance. So many teams. Same with Dominique Wilkins and Dennis Rodman. They're everywhere. The Suns, we get our final Shaquille O'Neal, Vince Carter, dude, Jermaine O'Neal. The rest of the Suns look kind of weak. OKC, yeah, Chris Paul. Remember that one season? He was in OKC during the bubble. I remember that. Carmelo Anthony played a few games there. Patrick Ewing with the Sonics. Coming towards the end, we've got the Timberwolves with D Rose, Jimmy Butler, always weird. Remember when he yelled at everybody on the team? Chauncey Billups making another appearance. Brandon Roy. Carmelo Anthony, remember when he played for the Trailblazers? Oh my word, the Trailblazers though looking kind of weak. Sean Kemp, maybe he can put in work. Our final two teams, the all-time Warriors with JoJo White, Chris Webber, Jermaine O'Neal. Yeah, I don't love this team. And finally, the all-time Washington Wizards, 99 Michael Jordan, Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, and Paul Pierce. I mean, that's a really good team. I know a lot of you always want to see all 30 teams. I did it. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Let me know if I should down below. And after all that, it's finally time to get to our regular season, then playoff sim. Let's go. Turns out our washed Eastern Conference was far better than the West, as showcased by the Spurs grabbing the 1 seed with just 51 wins. CP3, T-Mac, and Moses were indeed a deadly big three. Melo, Karl Malone, and my boy Steve Nash powered the Lakers to a 50-32 record. Grant Hill filled up the stat sheet for the 47-35 Clippers. John Wall averaged 19 a game to lead the way for Houston. Melo's best individual performance was 19-6 and 5 per game for the playoff-bound Blazers, while Vince Carter and Allen Iverson dragged Memphis to the show. Nice. That was, however, the only pure playoff appearance for a Vince Carter team. He was kind of struggling out here. Although individually, he did average 20 a game alongside Shaq's 18 and 9 for Phoenix to at least make the play-in. Golden State, Dallas, and Utah, the other 3 play-in teams with matching 40 and 42 records. Special shout out to Spencer Haywood of the Jazz, though, bit of a forgotten legend. He averaged 22, 8, and 3. My guy's like the LeBron James of this universe, I guess. Fair enough. Missing everything in the West, Vince and the Kings, Melo and the Thunder, DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas and the Pelicans, Russell Westbrook, even with some huge numbers for Denver, and finally Derrick Rose and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'd say the Kings out of that group missing out completely is the most shocking, although as mentioned earlier, they've never won anything, so we move on. In the East, Boston, as per usual, was dominant. Bob McAdoo, 16 and 7, coming off the bench. Dominique and Shaq both productive. They won 61 games. Our second version of Spencer Haywood averaged 17 and 7 for Washington. Along with Russ and MJ, the Wizards went 55 and 27. Also 55 and 27, James Harden, Bob McAdoo, and the 76ers. The Pistons went 52 and 30 thanks to 17 and 8 per game from Tracy McGrady, and also Bob McAdoo putting up 17 and 8. Okay, I'm sensing a trend here. Bob McAdoo equals success, winning, dominance, amazing. Nate Archibald and Dame Lillard were a deadly guard duo for the playoff-bound Bucks, while Cleveland also slipped in, led by 19 and 8 per game from Shaquille O'Neal. Gilbert Arenas and the Magic, Dwayne Wade and the Bulls, T-Mac, Vince Carter and the Hawks, along with James Harden, Kevin Garnett and the Nets are the play-in teams out east, while missing everything completely. Dwight Howard and the Hornets, Hakeem the Dream in Toronto, no! Tracy McGrady and the Knicks, Ray Allen and the Heat, and finally Chris Mullin and the Pacers. My main takeaway is that the Eastern Conference ended up being way better. I mean, that James Harden, Kevin Durant, Bob McAdoo team being a play-in squad, I don't know, the Nets, they could make some noise. Yo, I wanted to give a very quick shout out to my sponsor, Underdog, for continuing to support my channels. Look, I know you've probably heard of Underdog by now, so I won't bore you, but if you want to play daily fantasy, get in on nightly or season-long drafts while watching the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, college football, college basketball, basketball, literally any sport, then sign up for Underdog using code JCAN. My link and more info is down below. My dog is too big for this. Speaking of James Harden, he won MVP of our Wash timeline, albeit the 76er version of James, averaging 17 and 9. Not sure who was listed as a rookie on this roster, but Connie Hawkins, shout out, winning Rookie of the Year for the Hawks. Carmelo Anthony for the Rockets won 6th Man of the Year, makes sense. Dwight Howard for the Hornets, I'm pretty sure they missed the playoffs DPOY. And Shaquille O'Neal for the Cavs won Clutch Player of the Year. All-NBA first team James Harden, Russell Westbrook despite missing the playoffs, Spencer Haywood, what a monster, another James Harden, and Kevin Garnett. See, how did they make the play-in? All-NBA second, we've got Dwight, Tracy McGrady on the Spurs, D Wade on the Bulls, Chris Paul on the Spurs, and Rick Barry on the Rockets. All-NBA third team Vince Carter, DeMarcus Cousins, Gilbert Arenas, Russell Westbrook on the Wizards, Penny Hardaway on the Heat. And because I often see comments asking for all defensive teams, Dwight, Shaq, MJ, Scotty, Hakeem. Second team Kirilenko, 2 versions of Shaq, Ben Wallace, I love it, and Moses Malone. Because every team is made up of legends playing a lot of balanced minutes, the numbers aren't high, but Spencer Haywood, the clear leader in points per game, Russ second, Vince Carter on the Suns third, T-Mac on the Knicks fourth, Shaq on the Cavs fifth. Rebounds per game, DPOY, Dwight. Look at DeMarcus for the Pels, nice. Shaq for the Suns up there. Andrew Bynum for the Pacers, amazing. Moses Malone rounding out the top 5. And in assists per game, mama, there goes that man. Mark Jackson, point guard. Speaking of which, CP3 on the Spurs, James Harden on the Sixers, Russ and Tracy McGrady all over this video. Speaking of that, advanced analytics, just very quickly, Spencer Haywood, the leader in game score by a mile, then Russ. But look at all the James Harden and T-Max. Like, they just dominate in these simulations. It's that simple. Eliminated from our league with the quickness. Unfortunately, Spencer Haywood and the Jazz, the Golden State Warriors, advanced to the playoffs. We're left with Suns, Mavericks in our Western Conference play-in. Okay, wow, the Mavericks, I did not think their roster was very good at all. Meanwhile, Phoenix, they've got Shaq and Vince Carter, just crazy top-end talent. Shaq is not on the floor. Dallas is probably done in this game. If the Suns find one more bucket here, it will be over. Jermaine O'Neal from the low post. Who needs Shaq, right? Dude, look at Amari Stoudemire, 32 and 10. Nobody else really helping out. Dallas, they made it pretty far. Oh my goodness. In the Eastern Conference, Brooklyn eliminated. Dude, I thought they were so good. Orlando's off to the playoffs. We are left with the alternate washed up Bulls against the washed up Atlanta Hawks. Okay, Dwayne Wade versus Vince Carter, I think. Oh, try Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Dwight Howard, Atlanta. They are insane. Yeah. Little surprised they're in the play-in too, but they did handle business. D Wade, George Gervin, and the Bulls. One last shot before the buzzer. Yeah, that just personifies how this play-in game went for them. Not great. And with that, we're cut down to 16 washed up all-time teams remaining. Oh, these playoffs, man, they should be good. No chaos for Karl Malone, Steve Nash, and the Lakers, who downed Golden State with ease. Makes sense. Likewise, sweeping in the East, Michael Jordan, Russ, and the Wizards. That one also makes sense. Joining shortly thereafter in the second round, Dominique Wilkins and the LA Clippers. Oh, we've got a battle of LA in round 2. That should be good. It took Shaq and the Celtics 6 games to beat the play-in Hawks. Interesting. They move on to face Iverson, T-Mac, Derrick Rose, and the Pistons. Dude, we have got some unbelievable matchups in store, but first we have 2 game 7s, including the washed up Cavs versus the washed up Philly 76ers. Oh, we're under a minute left. Cleveland on their last legs. A chance to pull off an upset here. I think this is the 3 versus 6 series. D Wade hopping to the rim. D Wade, that was a nice move. I thought he should have kicked it. Cleveland has Walt Frazier, Sean Merritt. They have no shooting out here, but they don't need it. Walt Frazier, so easy gliding to the rim. Still no substitution for the Cavs. Jim Jackson makes another 2 free throws. All right, you got to shoot a 3 now, Cleveland. You have to. I wish coaching AI was a bit smart. What? Shaq? Why did he pump it? Oh, and why did it work, Philly? Are you kidding me, dude? Wait, they still have time. Kyle Lowry, full court heave. Wow. We're going to OT. To send game 7 to OT, Shaquille O'Neal pass out of jump shot at the 3-point line to Sean Marion of all people. And now the Cavs are in control of this game late with a 2-point lead. Well, really, you just have to play defense once or twice. So yeah, D-Wade going to the rim. Now Dwight is playing defense. They can't grab board though. Andrew Bynum just got rejected and Kyle Lowry keeps it in bounds. Now that was good defense, Philly. How could you not do that at the end of regulation? Kicks it out, does Jim Jackson. Kyle Lowry misses a big shot, but Jim's on the glass. Old man Bailey Howell going to work. Mid-range post fade. He bricks it as well. Shaq grabs board. And that was finally it. The all-time 76ers go down swinging, but lose in OT. MVP James Harden, 22 and 14, but subbed out in overtime. That was a crazy finish to our first game 7. Our second is the 4-5 matchup in the West. The Trailblazers versus Rockets makes sense. This would go the distance. What doesn't make sense, however, Portland being the 5 seed and forcing a game 7. They had Carmelo Anthony and, well, not much else. They got spanked. Wow, what in the world? All the legendary talent on the all-time washed-up Rockets. It's John Wall with 39 and 5. What? First round of our playoff sim complete. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 seed from the West, the 1, 2, 4, 6 from the East. That's right, Cleveland causing some chaos. Oh, look at Tracy McGrady threw around 24 points a game, 9 assists for the Spurs. T-Mac coming to finally grab a ring, but he's gonna have to get through that impressive John Wall-led all-time Houston Rockets team featuring Sixth Man of the Year Melo, right? Oh boy, looks like the Spurs T-Mac, yeah, they're having no problem. Up 3-1. They're not gonna choke, right? Nope, I can't even reverse jinx a choke. But first, we've got a pair of 3-2 series in the East with Boston leading the Pistons, Washington leading the Cavs. Michael Jordan getting a good simulation on 2K25. This might be the first time I've seen it for the Wizards. Yep, that's a win for they force a game 7. We're due for one game 7. Shaq and the Celtics. We might have an all Shaq Eastern Conference Finals, but this Pistons team is insane. Can they force a game 7? They're on their home court down too late. I'm not going to continually complain about 2K's coaching. The Celtics, wow, okay, Blake Griffin, good shot. No Shaq on the floor for Boston. T-Mac pulling, that was kind of a good look, okay? If Boston doesn't want to play Shaq or any of their best players in the clutch, Dominique, then so be it. Oh, no, Artis Gilmore just swatted T-Mac. Artis Gilmore and Blake are telling me to shut up right now. Bob McAdoo for the Celtics? Nope. It's a battle of Bob McAdoo's. Bob McAdoo wins. Detroit is hanging on for dear life. They can't have another empty possession here. They simply cannot.
Puts up the 3.
T-Mac shoots every time he touches the ball in this game, and it kind of works out a lot of the time. You know what? Gary Payton's pretty good. So is Stephon Marbury. That could have been the dagger. He missed it. Oh my. If Detroit goes quickly, they can get a 2-for-1. Alvin Robertson. T-Mac, you have no conscience. Tracy McGrady has not. He pulled from... Who does he think he is? It's ridiculous. I feel like I always joke about T-Mac taking every shot when I make these videos, but it's literally like 2K programmed his 13 points in 33 seconds into his player model. Chauncey Billups misses. They get another chance, though. Shaq finally on the court. I better pay attention to what happens here. Chauncey was going for the win with that 3. Now they're going inside to Shaq. Crazy double team for the win. Yeah! No! Detroit's out of timeouts. Push the ball up court, man. Derrick Rose, go. You're so fast. Derrick pulls up. That's kind of a good look, but he misses. No, I was pulling for the Pistons. Why did you leave Chauncey Billups? Will we get a washed-up Shaq versus washed-up Shaq East Finals, or can MJ, Russ, and the boys take care of business in Washington? Wow, they can. I mean, I'm a bit surprised. They were down kind of big early, but they flipped the script. I bet it was Cleveland's lack of shooting that caught up with them. Darren Williams, Isaiah Thomas, I knew they had shooters out there, but probably not enough. And would you look at that? It's the 1 and 2 seed from each respective conference, which is predictable, but like, it just shows I made a pretty good roster, man. A pretty accurately simulating roster. Good job, 2K, I suppose. But our Eastern Conference Finals is set. The all-time washed-up Wizards featuring MJ, Russ, Pierce, and Haywood taking on Shaq, Dominique, Pistol Pete, Chauncey, and the washed-up Celtics. All in the West, it's the all-time Lakers. They've got my boy Steve Nash coming off the bench. Okay, Mitch Richmond, Karl Malone against the all-time Spurs with Moses, Dominique, T-Mac, CP3. What is that team? Oh my, what? Dude, I said, what is that team? Like, as in, why is that team so filthy good? They're about to get swept, are the Spurs. Oh, it's over. Making the West Finals in this timeline is no joke, but like the Brooklyn Nets earlier, I am shocked to see this Spurs team go out sad. I mean, they had a lot of balance, a starting 5 plus a 6 man. That's crazy. Meanwhile, in the East, I mean, I might as well just sim this. Unless we get a 3-1 comeback here, I think the Celtics are done. And honestly, if the Celtics lose, America wins. Unfortunately, America loses because Karl Malone was the West Finals MVP, 20 and 8. Those are pretty good numbers. In the East, Paul Pierce, unbelievable, beating the Celtics. It's very fitting. And at the end of the day, all-time Lakers versus all-time Wizards, much better than Lakers Celtics. We've seen that enough times IRL. Let me know right now in the comment section quickly, right, who you think wins this finals. You've got like 5 seconds. My boy Steve back in the starting lineup. It might be over. That might be the move for the Lakers. Oh no, the Wizards take game 2 and they're on the road, question mark? No, I lied. The Wizards, of course, the Eastern Conference was better, so they do have home court advantage over the sad 6th place LA Lakers. Oh no, but back in LA, it's so Jover, man. The Lakers, they can't get a win. Steve Nash, Karl Malone. Oh, that's why. I built a team of finals loser. Carmelo Anthony. Nobody on this team has a ring, of course. What was I thinking? A team of perennial losers, with all due respect, up against 6-0 Michael Jordan. I mean, his powers are too strong. Not to mention Paul Pierce. I mean, Paul only won one ring, but you know, that one time he, you know what, he needs to be carried off in a wheelchair, and he still shows his face. That's the kind of mental fortitude that only a champion has. I'm gonna stop talking right now. I built 30 alternate washed up all-time teams on NBA 2K25, and the Washington Wizards walk away champs. Russell Westbrook, one of a few teams he appeared on, 17 points, 11 assists per game. He finally wins a ring. The Wizards roster, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, definitely one of the strongest. This wasn't a shock to see, but anytime Washington wins, I mean, it deserves to be celebrated. It doesn't happen often. Let me know if that shocked you down below after I showed you all the rosters. Did you think the all-time washed up Wizards would do it? Just for fun, I ran back our season sim. Michael Jordan this time won MVP for the Wizards. Once again, Spencer Haywood on the Jazz made first team All-NBA. The LA Clippers finished 62-20 with the best record in the league, just ahead of MJ and the Wiz. The Clippers, however, choked in the first round. What in the world? Washington choked in the second round, meaning we were getting a new champ, and it was the Lakers' shot at revenge against, of course, the all-time Celtics. But Karl Malone, Steve Nash, and the Lakers go 0 for 2 in the video. It was the Celtics. But in the true canon of this video, the Celtics sim doesn't count. Only the Wizards are champs. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video. It took me forever to build this roster. I had a lot of fun with it. Check out another video from here on my channel.